Hey, it's Joe Glines from the-automator, and I want you to check out this video real quick. It's an extract from our hero call. Isaias was walking through what the brackets mean when you use them in includes, and also how you can include subfolders and where it's actually checking. It's a really great call. We talk about a lot of stuff there. It's a normal hero call where we just cover things and teach you more things about AutoHotkey to level you up. The Hero program is a great program. You get 3 hours a week of calls, and we have a private Telegram group. Plus, you get 25% off any of our courses and our done-for-you work. Check it out. Cheers.
But let's see first if anybody else has any questions or anything that you guys are working on that you want to kind of like need help with, because basically that's what we are here for, right?
So I just went back to Grok and asked it to see if it can update that using the
brackets.
Which, by the way, Isaias, it's always a good refresher. Are you still sharing your screen? I'm not looking.
No, I'm not. Let me share.
Remind me, because
that work?
I know the left and right bracket, quote unquote, have meaning, but I always forget what the meaning is.
Yes. All right. And let's use a real life file. So S drive. Okay. So we have this path. All right. And usually you can do something like this, include that path. Right. This is the simple way of including a file. And it's great because you just give it the path to the file and it would just grab it and put it on your script, kind of like a copy paste. It copies it from that location, puts it right there when the include is, and now your script will run as if that file was in your script. All good, but there are other ways that you can do this, and there's what I consider a superior way, which is include notify v2. So this in turn is doing something very specific. These two brackets down here have a special meaning. Now let's comment this out. I don't want that one. Let's focus on this guy. This bracket on the left means something like lib slash, and then this bracket on the right means something like .ahk. That's what it means. This is the left bracket and this is the right bracket. Altogether, of course, no spaces. It would be something like this. But the reason why they're special is because they search automatically in 3 different spots for you. The first spot is a script dir /lib. They will try to find this notify folder and this notify AHK file right next to your script inside a lib folder, which is, for example, if I have a script and I had a lib folder, so this is my script and I had a lib folder, that is where that file would be. That's the standard directory, and that's what we do for most of our tools. You will notice that we have a lib folder, right? We have a lib folder right next to the script. That's the first spot that the include looks for, that file, right? The second spot is a documents, my documents, I think it is, / AutoHotkey /lib. So if I look for this folder called notify and this file called notifyv2.ahk right next to my script and I don't find it, it will automatically go to my documents. It will look for the AutoHotkey folder and it will look for the lib folder in there. And in that lib folder, it would also check for the notify folder and the notify v2 file. That is basically a folder that is created when you install AutoHotkey. It would be in your documents, AutoHotkey lib. That's where it would look for it. All right. So it would look for the file right here. I separate those for V1 and V2, but that's not something that you have to do. But basically, this is the location where it was going to look for that file. Or here. Those are two of them. And then there's a third location, which is a program files. I don't know if that exists, but it would be something like this. It would be in a program files, whatever AutoHotkey is actually installed, there might be a lib folder in there. And that's the third location that gets found. So in this case, in my computer, it would be program files, AutoHotkey. And there would be probably a lib folder here where it's supposed to be kind of like the standard library location, but we don't have a standard library yet. So there is no lib folder, but you can create your own. You can just simply go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to have a lib folder here. And whatever you put in here, that would be also searched automatically whenever you put the brackets. So as you can see, these two brackets are great. They convert to lib and AHK, but they're great because it automatically searches 3 different spots for you. So you can put any files anywhere there, and it would make your life easy. So usually what I do is when I'm coding, I use the libraries that are in my AutoHotkey lib folder. That's what they are. And after I finish coding, if I want to share that with somebody, I copy those libraries to the script lib folder, the local one, but I don't have to change my code because the code is going to look exactly the same, because these will look first here and then there, and lastly over here. So that's why I usually prefer to have the brackets, because it searches 3 different spots, and because when I'm starting coding very quickly, I can just say, hey, look at this. I'm just going to use the include. Actually, I can do it here.
Did you have a question, Connie?
Yeah, does it? You didn't have a lib in example 2. Does
Sorry,
you have a V in when you went to bring your example back up.
This one?
When you looked at my documents,
Yeah.
you had a V1 and a V2.
So I had a V2, right? So you would have, but I would have to manually do that. That's what I was going to show right now. If I don't have the V2, it should be on the lib folder. So let me show you how that would look for most people. I myself make it that way, but you don't have to. This is how it's supposed to be. So I would have to put the folder right there, right?
Right.
That's where my lib would be. I myself, as I have different libraries, I wanted to kind of like separate them, but you don't have to. But if you have your library like this, what is going to happen is that here, I don't have to do the whole thing. I just say UIA, there it is. And I'm looking for this guy, right? So now that I have that, I can start coding with UIA, right? Later on, if I want to give this file to somebody, then I just have to make sure that in here, I have a lib folder, all right? And that in that lib folder, I have this UIA. I just copy it, put it here. But now I don't have to change my code because the code already takes care of that. So now I don't have to change my code at all. My code stays the same. But just because I copied this lib folder with the UIA library, it will use that one instead of my AutoHotkey documents one. Does that make sense? So it is very cool because for starting out very quickly, I just include like this and I start coding very quickly because I have those libraries in my documents. But as soon as I want to send it to somebody else, I don't know if they have it in their documents. So what I do is that I include a copy of that as a lib folder in their spot like this. but I don't have to touch the code because the code itself is going to search for it right there.
But
So
it doesn't search subfolders under that my documents. That's why you had to make a library right next to it.
say that again, sorry.
You created a folder lib in my documents, right? You just
Yes.
did that. Instead of doing that, it won't look in V2 folder in my documents.
Exactly. So in my case, in my computer, what I usually do is this. And I have it like that so that I can remind myself that I don't have it yet. So
Yes.
what I do here is that I say, I start coding like this. I start coding with that location like this.
Ah,
You see?
okay. Yes.
That's what I do. And now if I'm going to send you the code, now I remember, oh, look, that is in my computer. In his computer, it's not like that. So I have to include a copy of it. And that is kind of like a trigger for me to say, oh, let me go ahead and create a lib folder with the library, right? And
Right.
once I have this copy, then I remove the V2 from there because now I know that I have a copy in my lib folder, in the folder that is right next to the script. And that's kind of
Okay.
like a trigger for me, a mental trigger to remember, hey, I'm going to share this, but in their computer, they don't have it. So let me do the copy, remove the V2, and now it should work just fine now, as the same way, right?
Okay.
So
It's that addition of the V2 dot slash is what I didn't understand.
yes, that is basically what I would do, because remember, this right here would be lib. It would be like a lib slash.
That was
And where that lib is located could be in my documents. So it could be, I think, my documents. Hold on, because
isn't
this
it
is
my documents AutoHotkey?
no. Oh, hold on. No. Well, yeah, you're right. So it would be a document here. So it would be a my documents, and then it would be
Slash AutoHotkey.
a slash lib.
Yeah.
Slash v2, and then at the end AHK. That would be the actual path. That's the actual path to the file, like that. And you see how the squiggly lines just disappeared because it does exist, right? But I don't want to write all that, right? You don't have to. All of this side becomes one bracket, and this AHK becomes a different bracket, and it's the same. I'm saying the same thing right now.
Right. Yep. Okay.
That was honestly, Connie, why I wanted Isaias to explain those brackets, because once you understand what the brackets are doing, it helps you understand like how you can use it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just say there's magical places where it'll go look, and you're like, but if you have a subfolder or something, you don't realize you can actually incorporate that
just by putting that subfolder in the at the appropriate place. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's very helpful. Thank you so much.